It's news time. Information is power. The current. The news headline. Promoters urges federal government to maintain historic site of hoisting Nigerian flag. A tourism promoter, Mr. Raphael James, has called on the federal government to ensure maintenance of race course, now renamed Tafawa Balewa Square, where the Nigerian flag was first hoisted. James made the call in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, on Thursday in Lagos. The site where the Nigerian flag was first hoisted is one of the nation's precious tourism sites, which must be protected and promoted for international visitation. This site is in shambles, stinking and poorly maintained over the years, he said. James appealed to the federal government to use the celebration of the nation's independence anniversary to look into the proper maintenance of the site. The venue where Nigerian flag was first hoisted is now overtaken by weed. Carcass vehicles are parked around here. The site alone will disgust anyone that it is not good for Nigeria. I want the federal government to do something about this, ensure proper maintenance of the place, and if possible, create attractive activities around the site to woo tourists, he said. James, who is a curator, also urged the federal government to properly maintain the site where late Muritala Muhammad was assassinated, adding that the spot was not known to many. I visited the spot where late General Muritala Muhammad was shot recently and I was not happy with the state of the place. I found a vulcanizer operating there. This is not supposed to be so. The federal government should create attractive activities around the place for tourists, he said. NAN News Agency Nigeria reports that the TBS Tafawa Balewa Square is a 14.5 hectare, that is 35.5 acre, ceremonial ground originally called Race Course. TBS was constructed in 1972 over the site of a defunct track for horse racing. It is bounded by Awolowo Road, Cable Street, Force Road, and Catholic Mission Street. The square has a capacity for 50,000 people, and facilities at the square include a shopping center, airlines, travel agencies, restaurants, and car parking, and a bus terminal. The entrance to the square has gigantic sculptures of 4 white horses hovering around the gate and 7 eagles, which are symbols for the national emblem, signifying strength and dignity, respectively. Other monuments in the square include the Remembrance Arcade with memorials to World War I, World War II, and Nigerian Civil War victims, and the 26-story Independence House built in 1963, which was for a long time the tallest building in Nigeria. And this is James who made the call in an interview with the news agency that there is need for the federal government to ensure the proper maintenance of race course, which has now been renamed as Tafawa Balewa Square, where the Nigerian flag was first hoisted. Seeing that the venue was actually now overtaken by weed, carcass of vehicles are even parked around here, and that site alone is not good at all because it is supposed to be a tourist center, that would attract tourists and will even bring in some revenue into the government purse. And saying that even where General Muritala Muhammad was shot while he actually visited the same place, that he found out that it was disgusting to be at, saying that there was even a vulcanizer there, and this is actually not fair enough. And this is coming after the Independence Day celebration of October 1st, 2021, citing that this day was supposed to be a day where people can go around and reminiscence on the past happenings in the country and appreciate that the country is yet today flourishing. Why it was proper that the president did not name the financiers being investigated, the president's decision not to identify them in his October 4th speech was said to be a wise one. A legal practitioner, Festus Ogun, has lambasted President Muhammadu Buhari for ordering Nigerian security units to subdue Biafra and Yoruba Nation agitators Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho. In an interview with the human rights activist, he accused Buhari of looking elsewhere due to his administration's failure in security and combating terrorism. On the secessionist incarceration vis-a-vis the activities of the killer herdsmen bandit and terrorists Ogun called the actions of federal authorities glaringly embarrassing. The principal partner of Festus Ogun Legal said the president's 101 paragraph October 4 speech addressed Kanu Igboho matter with less mention of insurgents and terror groups. One would expect that given the length at which the president went in addressing the unjust and indiscriminate clampdown on Igboho and Kanu, he would extend his strong words on the criminal activities of terror groups holding a piece of our country to ransom. I find it very disturbing, condemnable, and suspicious. Would the president's smoothness validate the fears that he is sympathetic towards terrorists, or was it a sheer costly omission? Many Nigerians would be tempted to pitch towards the former as a result of the deep love and affection that the president has shown towards Fulani herdsmen and terrorists in words and actions over the years. I think this is a dangerous path that would compound whatever is left of our tottering structure as a country, Ogun warned. Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has been at the custody of the Department of State Services in Abuja. At the Radio Biafra's founders trial at the Federal High Court in Abuja will resume this month, Justice Binta Iyanko had turned down Kanu's legal application for his transfer to Kuje prison. A security source informed Daily Post that Kanu's foot soldiers, the Eastern Security Network in particular, are on standby to breach any correctional center the government keeps him. The Nigerian government, after repatriating Kanu in June days, and also Igboho, which his new name is Sunday Adeyemo, who was stopped at the Kadijon airport in Cotonou in July before his planned trip to Europe, still at the Benin prison as at now, have been in detention. Therefore, Festus Ogun is of the opinion that Buhari has not done well in terms of not paying more attention on those that are causing terrorism in the country, who are the Fulani herdsmen, bandits, and terrorists, but focusing on self-agitators that are guided by the Constitution. And this is why the Human Rights Association of Nigeria are also against the methods of which President Muhammadu Buhari is handling matters like this. Immediately after swearing in of President Buhari, who took more than 6 months to constitute his cabinet, and sadly, the cabinet ministers are mostly opportunistic, cash-guzzling politicians with zero commitment to Nigeria's national economic revolution and advancement. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria actually said that Nigeria has continued to meander the path befitting failed, weak, and juvenile states, a state that had very great prospects. They averred that it was disturbing to note that while Nigeria is the third most terrorized country in the world, next to Afghanistan and Iraq, the Buhari-led government actions are centered on cows in such a way that cows are more secure in Nigeria than Nigerians, just as the herders are armed to the teeth to the knowledge of government authorities. Also, the Human Rights Writers Association revealed that Nigeria's public debt stock, which has reached $84 billion, with debt service costs galloping about 80% of entire government revenue. Thanks for listening. That is the news.